Hello everyone, this is Ranjeet Jadhav. Welcome to the fourth episode of Navigating the Wild. In this episode, we will bring forward the story about urban leopards of Mumbai. Sanjay Gandhi National Park, along with the researchers from Wildlife Conservation Society India, radio collared a total of 5 leopards. The data from radio collars has brought forward some interesting observations. While it has been found that some leopards were seen crossing busy roads, it was also seen that some leopards were roaming very close to human settlements without causing any conflict.
While it's a known fact that Sanjay Gandhi National Park, which lies in the heart of the Mumbai metropolis, has one of the highest densities of leopards anywhere in the world. The radio collaring project of the 5 leopards in Sanjay Gandhi National Park has brought forward some interesting observations about the secret lives of these majestic creatures. Between 2000 and 2005, the park witnessed the highest number of human-leopard conflicts. Upon investigation, the Forest Department officials and the researchers realized that random trapping and translocation of leopards was one of the prime reasons for the human-leopard conflict. The then director Sunil Limaye, along with famous leopard biologist Dr. Vidya Atre, decided to start a program named Mumbakers for SGNP. For the first time, a population estimation study was undertaken involving important stakeholders. The scientific data on leopards helped the Forest Department create awareness among the locals staying on the periphery of the park and explain to them the importance of coexistence. The SGNP officials, along with Wildlife Conservation Society India, decided to undertake a study titled Tracking Urban Leopards.
Why we wanted to go for this radio telemetry is to know the things which the human eyes cannot see that. Even we have a lot of limitation with the camera trapping. So through radio telemetry, so we could see the animal's movement and its behavior. So even in night times also and in odd times. Especially in a place like Sanjay Gandhi National Park, which is surrounded with a very dense human population.
And this is where radio telemetry is significant, through which the animal's movements and behavior during the night too can be observed. This national park, spread over more than 104 square kilometers, was the periphery inside which different animals were identified for their movements.
Female which we have selected there, it was moving that our national park, film city, so some part of Mulund and the RA milk colony. The second female which we have selected was on the Thane side. So that was actually resident of the Manpada area. Third one, basically the female which we have selected was, periphery was selected in such a way that was moving in the core area also, as well as in the slums. So these are the 3 females we selected to cover the different landscapes. Then the males which we have selected was, the one was the Maharaja, that was the resident of the Nagla area. The another male which we have selected was moving across the Thane Godbandar road. So because why we have selected the male in that particular tract is that the level of traffic, it is very high density vehicular movement happens in that particular patch. Because males are more aggressive. Got a very good data with both animals also. The range is also very big. If you see the Maharaja, it has done a parikrama of Tungareshwar Wildlife Sanctuary 2 times. So this shows that the home range of that male animals also.
The movement of these majestic cats cannot be confined to a limited area. Hence, the officials are currently in the process of identifying landscapes that can be identified for leopard movement across.
The movement pattern of the wild leopards of SGNP towards the northern side and the southern side has to be explored. So we are in the process of identifying landscape which are notified for us, which can be protected for this leopard movement across. We can't keep this sustainable population in a small landscape of 104 square kilometers so in the future to come. So the corridor study has to be extended further towards the south and north of the national park also.
The collaring process in itself is not that easy. Capturing these wild leopards needs a lot of planning and patience. It is a systematic process which involves a lot of factors to be taken care of.
For collaring, first of all, we need to identify the individual in the area where we are planning to do the research, from where we want information. Then we identify that particular individual and try to capture that individual by non-invasive technique. It's called trapping with the help of trap cages. So our expert team who install cages in and around the area, and then we capture particular individual. We have to understand what is the age of the animal, or what is the health status of the animal, and whether the animal is fit for the collaring or not. And then we can proceed with the collaring procedure. If animal is too young, or if animal is too old, and how it relates with the objectives of the project, then according to that we proceed with the further step of medical evaluation, where we collect blood of the animal without giving anesthesia if possible. Later on, when blood report comes, an animal is healthy for the tranquilization process, then we do tranquilization, we give anesthesia to the animal, we sedate it, and then we start the procedure of radio collaring.
It may take 1 to 2 weeks to capture the leopard for collaring. Once trapped, the entire process of collaring with several steps has to be done as quickly as possible.
And then after capturing, immediately we start the medical evaluation, health evaluation procedure, and within one day we conduct all the examination and all. And next day we put radio collar by giving anesthesia to the animal. In the span of 2 hours, we finish with the procedure when we sedate the animal. Particularly for the collar, we take measurement of the neck and the crown of the skull. Usually the measurement of the neck is slightly lesser than the crown of the skull. So we just give a margin of error of 1 inch around the neck and put the collar. That way it will not come out of the skull also, and it will not give difficulties in breathing or tighten the collar, or due to the friction any injury can happen. Such kind of things can be avoided with this kind of measures.
Collar has 2 components. There is a battery and there is the VHF beacon and the GPS. So we deploy this collar around the leopard's neck in such a manner that it is not very tight or very loose. The weight of the collar also is taken into consideration while collaring, because it should not hamper their daily activities. Plus we attach this safety precaution of a cotton cloth. Just in case things fail, this cotton cloth can help the collar, the belt to deteriorate and come off. This data keeps coming in through at regular intervals at our devices. Our research team put a very intensive walk effort of approximately 700 kilometers. We try to understand now why was the leopard there. It could either be resting, or it could have made a kill there and feeding off those kills. Most of these leopards preferred to sleep in cool rocky areas which were deep inside the forest. And while most of them were inactive during the day, they would rest in Sanjay Gandhi National Park's core areas. They would be very active in the night and roam around the periphery or do their walking. For females, the minimum home range we calculated for one particular female was about 3 square kilometers, whereas there was a male which roamed across Sanjay Gandhi National Park and Tungareshwar Wildlife Sanctuary. He had a home range of over 70 square kilometers. Also, we realized that there was a very high overlap between the collared leopards and other leopards. There's a misconception, or people believe that once you collar animals, or leopards for that matter, it hampers their breeding or it hampers their cub survival. Leopards were mating with the collar on. In fact, we also documented it on cameras. Photographed one of our collared females on one of the trails which she frequently used while she was shifting her cubs from one den to the other. 2 of our collared females littered twice during the monitoring period. So Tulsi and Kranti, they were observed with their cubs during the monitoring period. So 2 of our collared males, Jeevan and Maharaja, they crossed the highway, they crossed railway lines. So Maharaja, for that matter, in order to go from Sanjay Gandhi National Park to Tungareshwar Wildlife Sanctuary, he crossed the Chinchoti Bhivandi road. And that road has traffic during the night hours. So, these leopards can maneuver through these landscapes, just that the corridor connectivity has to be kept intact. Similar was the case with Jeevan. Jeevan, in fact, crossed the Ghodbandar road, which has a lot of traffic during the night hours. He managed to do this by sometimes crossing over the road or using already existing culverts which are under the road surface. Now, leopards, whenever they make a kill, they can feed off that kill. They have like 1 to 2 meals, and they don't need to hunt at least for the next 4-5 days. So we could also collect data on inter-kill intervals, like what was the gap. We also observed when the collared female, if their cubs were grown up, if they had made a kill, they would take their cubs to that kill. So we documented that one female, one cub feeding off a carcass at the same time. Because of telemetry data, we knew of a leopard in a particular surrounding, being close to people's houses, or it could have been their garbage area or dumping area. So they would move in these areas without actually being noticed by people. Jivan was the one who walked the maximum during our monitoring period. And amongst the females, Kranti tops the list.
Mumbai's Sanjay Gandhi National Park is one of those areas that brings together two most adaptable living species together, leopard and humans. And this project gives an eye-opening insight into leopards' movements and how humans and leopards are peacefully coexisting.
Subscribe to Midday India. Get direct notifications on all our videos by clicking on the bell icon.